I've gotten several questions from you about decluttering, how to get your life in order, your home, and although I do not do this perfectly, I do have some tips for you, so I'm excited to answer your questions. How long did it take you to get rid of sentimental items? This one was definitely hard for me, as it is for many people. I did not start in my sentimental bins. I started in the kitchen. It is not as hard to get rid of, rusty pots and pans as it is to get rid of baby clothes and things from your childhood. So it took me about 8 months, and it was tricky, and it always will be hard, I think, to get rid of sentimental items, but I had already built up some decluttering muscles at that point. I knew how to make decisions quickly, and I just set myself a limit. I said, I will only keep what fits into one storage tote. And so I just kept my favorites, and that's how I did it. It was not easy, but I did get it done. House with the Teal Door says, I'd love to see a video of you going back and sharing your wins and fails, like strategies you were feeling at the time but ended up not working, things that have lasted over time. I do have a video like this. I think it's called something like I Take It All Back, where I go through and I talk about the things that actually seemed really good in the beginning but didn't last over time, as far as tips, strategies, and I just go through that in that video. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna link it for you down below. And then there have been some things that I absolutely adore, that I stand by, that have continued to work over the last 3 years of my decluttering process. So I'll have that link down below. Good question. How to cure an emotional attachment to everything. This one is so hard, and it goes kind of back to that sentimental bin where you don't really want to tackle that first. Again, I'm going to recommend choosing an area where you have the least sentimental attachment. Say you are attached to the stuff in your kitchen. You've got china from your grandma, you've got stuff from your wedding, things that you're attached to. Just start in the least sentimentally attached area. This might even be your bathroom, underneath your bathroom sink. There's just a lot of lotions and cotton balls, and it's just not that hard to declutter those things by comparison. But how to cure your emotional attachment to everything? What I would suggest is trying to see your bigger goal. So focus on what it is you're actually trying to accomplish or gain by going through and decluttering your house. For me, this was spending more time with my kids. Less time cleaning meant more time with my family and more time to spend on personal development. So that was my reason for doing it. And if you don't have that in the forefront of your mind, it is going to be even harder to get rid of your clutter because you don't have a reason. So try and keep the things that contribute to your goals and not hold you back. And remember, your stuff doesn't have feelings. This was really helpful for me too. I'd feel bad about getting rid of something, and I think, it doesn't have feelings. It's not offended that I'm getting rid of it. And you might say, well, what if it was a gift? That person doesn't want you to have guilt and to be weighed down. But I think the main thing is just keeping the bigger goal in mind, and that is very, very helpful. How many kids' clothing items do I keep? Here comes my great confession. Kids' clothing, my daughter's clothing in particular, is the hardest thing for me to declutter and minimize of all. Minus like the things that my kids have made me. So like drawings that they've done for me, or little projects they've made at school that I absolutely treasure. Those are my absolute favorite things, and I don't declutter those. So how many clothes would I recommend having if this is not an area of like joy and fun specifically for you? I would say the Minimal Mom's approach to this is my favorite. She says, pick a week's worth of clothing, store the rest in the basement, because kids are gonna outgrow things, ruin things, stains, holes, the drill. And so I love this approach. Just have a week's worth. That cuts down on laundry for you. It makes getting ready in the morning easier for the kids. And then you're not running to the store when something needs to be replaced. Maybe you even have your kids' clothes on a rotation. If you want to see them wear these cute things, just rotate the clothes. That's actually probably what I need to do with my daughters. This next one is kind of fun. Do you ever miss shopping for fun? And do you ever miss color in your home? I still still shop for fun. I absolutely do. I just don't buy everything like I used to. And no, I don't miss bringing an excess into my home. I absolutely go shopping. I totally bring new things. In fact, I got a new pillow recently, got this sweater that I thrifted last night. I definitely replace things in my home and I bring new items in. I'm just very choosy, very selective, very careful and thoughtful. So I don't miss the clutter because that's all that it was. And then do I ever miss color? No, because I never really was drawn to it. Funny, me wearing this yellow shirt, but as far as my home goes, neutral colors are very calming to me and always have been. So the thing about decluttering, simplifying, even becoming a minimalist is that there's no one size fits all. Do whatever you want. You can have all the color in the world. You don't have to limit yourself to a style or a color. It's one of the best things about simplifying is you just hone in onto your personal style and you find out what it is you really love, and it doesn't matter what it is. You're more easily able to embrace it. I think it's no secret that I love makeup. Someone is asking what the makeup essentials are and makeup on a budget. So I'm gonna go through that quickly. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is awesome because it kind of shears out and it just looks really, really natural. I'm trying out a new mascara right now. This one, so far so good. This is by L'Oreal. It's called the Bambi Eyes Mascara. I love it because it gives you length and volume. I have really dark circles under my eyes, so I do use a high-end concealer. This is the Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape Concealer, and I love it because it comes in tons of shades and it doesn't crease. Another product by Tarte, this one is a little bit more pricey, but this one has lasted me a couple of years. This is the color Exposed, and I love it because it's neutral, meaning it goes with everything. What lipstick I'm wearing today, this is Fuchsia For Me by Maybelline. I love the Maybelline line, so affordable, and all their lipsticks are really creamy. Lori is asking if there was an event in my life that made me want to be more simplified. And I wouldn't call it necessarily an event, but one day I was looking around my house and it was so messy. It was a huge mess. There was so much clutter. And I just remember thinking, what if this all were to disappear? What if I woke up tomorrow morning and this was all gone? And then I went a step further with that thought, and what if I actually did it? Like, is there anybody telling me I can't? This is my stuff. I can make that decision. And it just clicked right then and there. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can. If I keep decluttering, I can wake up one morning and this will be gone. And that idea drove me. And then I decided what my big goals were, and I was motivated even more. And I was not good at decluttering. Absolutely not. Do not think this is my personality by nature, that I just easily get rid of stuff. It's no big deal. No, 100% no. I have really had to teach myself how to declutter. I've had to build these muscles very slowly over time. I'm just like you. This is not easy for me, but you can teach yourself, and you, just like any skill, can get better and better and better with practice. Oh, and then again, very specifically, what is the area that I struggle the most with decluttering? I feel like I went over this with my daughter's clothes, maybe books. Not into the Kindle. I don't get into electronic reading. So books have been a little bit hard, especially as I think I want my kids to have a love for literature. So that would be my second most difficult area. What is the best way to determine how many pieces of dishes and utensils your family needs? Two per person. This one is so straightforward. I love it. And then if you want to store a little extra, if you host, do it. Just maybe don't store these items in your kitchen. The kitchen is prime real estate. So try not to store hosting ware and special things that you bring out on the holidays. Don't keep that in your kitchen. Store it somewhere else and just limit the items in general. How do you get over the hurdle of getting rid of things that you might need? This is potentially one of the hardest ones. It was for me. What if I need this later? My goodness, that is a hurdle. And I still struggle with that to a degree. Oh no, what if I need this and then I don't have it? And my fear is that I don't want to have to go out and rebuy it, because that's wasted money and wasted time. So the best way, and you're not going to be 100% every time, don't let that stop you, is if you have used it in the last 6 months, you will likely use it again in the next 6 months. So try and think of that. And then I love the 20-20 rule. Can I get this again in 20 minutes or less for $20 or less. And then I would go even farther and say, can I borrow it? Does my neighbor have it? Try and think of other things as well that you have that can actually replace the item that you're worried to get rid of. So afraid I'm going to need that later. Well, do you have something else that can do the same job? Those are all questions I ask myself, but I always veer on the side of decluttering. If I kept every item I was afraid I would need later, I wouldn't have made progress. And that is the honest truth. You have to be willing to take a chance that you might end up regretting it. But honestly, out of the thousands and thousands of items I've decluttered over the last 3 years, I've only maybe regretted 2 or 3, and I can only remember one of them, and it was a little onesie for my baby. That's it. I got another one. It was no big deal, or I did without. I don't remember what I did. It was not a big deal. You don't miss the stuff. You once said you were going to post a meal prep video. I would love to see that. Would you love to see that? I am really excited to bring more cooking, DIYs, homemade cleaners into my channel in this new year. And one video idea that I would really love to share with you is a week of simplified dinners, using a lot what's already probably in your pantry. Let me know in a comment down below if that is something you'd be interested in, because I have several meal ideas that I would love to share with you, but I would love your feedback. What is your daily routine like? My day looks a little different depending on what day of the week it is. I teach piano lessons, but every single day I try and wake up to a simplified kitchen. That is like one of my favorite parts of my routine, meaning I've tidied up the night before and I come in to hopefully no dishes in the sink. Doesn't always happen, but I like to shoot for that. And then I'm able to start my day kind of more peacefully and more calmly. So every night we do a tidy, and I love that. It's like it's part of my morning prep. It's part of my evening routine, but it's part of my morning prep. I'm prepping for the morning. So I do that, and then I try and simplify my schedule as much as possible. I have cut back significantly on the number of activities we do, on the number of commitments I have, and I have loved having a simplified schedule. Canceled plans is one of my favorite things ever. And obviously filming and editing is a huge part of my daily routine. I have a playlist on the screen for you of decluttering and simplifying tips. Go ahead and click the link and I will see you over there.